Hey guys, Dr. Ben here, your functional medicine expert, and I want to go over today the difference between hypothyroid and hyperthyroid. Many people are dealing with thyroid imbalance, and a lot of people don't know for sure whether they're hyper or hypo and what is truly the difference. So here's some of the key differences between hyper and hypothyroid, and some people actually can experience both of these at the same time. So one of the big things that we look at with hyperthyroid is the thyroid is going to be doing too much activity, kicking out way too much T3, T4, the actual thyroid hormones, and we're going to have a racing heart. You could have a hard time gaining weight. You could be jittery. You could be hot. Your eyes can actually start coming out of your head a little bit and actually bulging. So a lot of things where that body is just revved up is hyper. Hypothyroid is the opposite. So that's going to be the traditional thyroid symptoms that you see, and that's going to be where you're hard time losing weight, you're cold easily, you have slow bowels, it can affect your brain, it can affect your energy, moods, all types of different things where it's slowed down, hair falling out, all types of stuff. So hypothyroid is going to be more of that slow, hyperthyroid is going to be more of the high. But that's not the whole story. For a lot of people, they'll actually have hypo and hyper. And why? That's usually because of the Hashimoto's that's going on. Hashimoto's is the autoimmune to the thyroid gland, and what happens is the body is attacking and destroying that thyroid tissue. But where does that go? Well, we can break down that thyroid tissue, it'll go out into the bloodstream, and we could actually have excess thyroid hormone, and it'll come up as a hyperthyroid state. And then sometimes we're not destroying as much tissue and we'll have a hypothyroid state. So if somebody has Hashimoto's, they can swing both ways between hyper and hypo. The way that we tell in the blood work is to look at TSH and look at the thyroid hormones themselves. TSH is a pituitary hormone that we make an assumption about what the thyroid is doing. But that's not the whole story. And if the TSH is up too high, then that usually means that we have a hypothyroid state. We're trying to whip the horse to go faster. If TSH is too low, then it's usually because the horse is running too fast and we're kind of laying off the reins and letting it slow down a little bit. But it's not always the answer. That's why we have to look at the T3 and the T4 and get a good feel for where those imbalances are. If we have excess thyroid hormone, again, it's usually that hyper. If we have too little thyroid hormone, it's usually hypothyroid. But you've got to be able to dig deep and learn about what each one of those means, because it will not tell you the whole story just by looking at any one number. So hypothyroid, very important to know what you need to do for these. We have a lot of other videos, educational pieces out there. You've got to know what your options are. Check out our great, easy to understand videos on our page.